Hey, it's David Price, and I've got the latest statistics from the Pinellas Realtor Organization. This is MLS data, so the multiple listing service data, just specifically to Pinellas County. And we've got condominium and we've got single-family homes data here to go through. I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to kind of go through the report, give you my take on this, and the report. What we're looking at here, all 16 pages, will be available for download in a PDF file by clicking on the link below. One thing to look at here is we're looking at the absorption rate. The absorption rate is based on the amount of inventory available to the amount of inventory sold. And you can see here that at the beginning of the year we're at 6.8%. It started to climb. This is typical if you look across the board here. It starts to climb during the peak buying season. And interestingly enough, during these April, May, and June period, this was the people who were closing who took advantage of the tax credit that ended at the end of April. So typically a closing is 30 to 45 days out, sometimes 60. So these bigger numbers here are skewed because there are a lot of people trying to take advantage of that. And that's why we see this big drop off here for July of 8.3%. It kind of picked back up and it's been floundering around at about 8% right now. So let's continue down through this report here. This is the key indicator that I look for, really, is how the inventory level is shaping up here. If you look in 05, this is the amount of inventory that was on the market each month: 3,000, 2,800, 27, 24. This was when the market was just absolutely going crazy. There was nothing there for people to buy, and that's the reason that prices were just out of control. And you can see that in 07 that changed, and we were up to a little over 11,000 homes on the market. So in just 2 years, the inventory basically quadrupled. Now we've seen that decline, 8,000 coming down here, continued to decline into the 6s, 5s, and then it started to pick back up. And in the middle of this year, we reached some of the higher levels that we've seen for at least a couple of years. But nice to see again in October those numbers have diminished about 140 units. Next one to really pay attention to here is single-family sales. Again, if you look through here in the 05 period, at the time when we had just 2,800 homes on the market, we were selling half of the market, 1,400 homes. Whereas today, when you come down and look here, you can see these numbers from January is always typically a slow month. People are dealing with the holidays. Again, these are sales that would have taken place 30 or 40 days prior to this date. So this January date here, 2010, this 438 homes sold, they went under contract in November or December to close in January. So what you'll notice here is when you get into March and April, this is people that were buying in January and February. And again, look at these big numbers here. People looking to close out from the end of April. And then the market slowed dramatically after the tax credit expired. And it's kind of been floundering around right about 500 home sales on a monthly basis for all of Pinellas County. This next one here is going to give us some information that shows that as of right now, based on sales that happened in October, 528 here, versus October the year before, sales are actually down 26.5%. So we've had 4 months of those numbers being in the negative compared to the year before, which is not necessarily a good sign. What we're really looking for is about a 6-month supply on the market, and right now we have about a 9-month supply on the market. So that number has been shrinking, but I think next year we're really going to see those numbers come together a lot closer. The next piece I want to point out to you here is the single-family home medium home price. The way that this is calculated, what they look at is those 500 plus sales that happened in the month of October, and they take the volume, the amount of money that each one of those sold for, divided by that number, and that's how we've come across the medium home price. So if you look here in 05, which is this blue chart right at the very top, we were averaging right about single-family homes were about $250,000 to $270,000 was the average home sale. Here since 2010, it's been the lowest that we've had since '09. But we had a big spike in October. It jumped from $130,000 was the average single-family home sale to $156,000. So this is going to be interesting to watch what happens in December when the November numbers come out. So continue on reading the rest of the report. You can download it, and I'll be back in December with December's report based off of November data. So I hope this was of interest to you. If you've got any questions about the report, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thanks very much.